Did you hear the story about the woman who was living in Dallas, Texas, and she ended up moving to Birmingham, Alabama because she wanted to be supportive to her friend? So while she's down there being supportive to her friend, she ends up meeting this guy, and the guy's really cool. He's really cute. They start kicking it and vibing, and he's telling her he's trying to love on her, and she's like, "Well, I'm lovable, so go ahead. You can love on me. That makes sense." So she's letting him love on her, and they having a good time. And then he starts showing her like these little red flags, and she starts taking a step back from the relationship because she's like, "I don't need no crazies on my hand now." And eventually he starts to do it more and more where she starts to fear for her safety. So she's like, "You know what? I got to get out of here." She leaves Birmingham, goes back to Dallas, Texas to live. And he contacts her and says, "I'm sorry for everything that happened. Look, I've gone to therapy. I'm working on my issues. Please come back. I want to marry you. I want to be with you." And she's like, "Okay, maybe he's right. Some people can change. Let's go back." So she stops her life in Dallas, Texas, goes back to Birmingham, Alabama again to be with him. And when she gets down there, she learns that she is pregnant. And she's like, "Oh my God." So she tells him, "You know what? I'm pregnant." He's like, "Well, you know what? I already want to marry you. I want you to be the mother of my child. Please, let's do this. Let's be together." And she's like, "I don't even know about this. Like, I don't feel comfortable with this." So she decides that she's going to go ahead and terminate the baby without his permission, without anything. And she goes and does that. And when she tells him, he gets mad and he's like, "Look, I really wanted that baby." And she's like, "I don't really care. That's not really what I want at this time." So she goes and she starts to feel sick and she ends up going back to the doctor. And the doctor is like, "Wait a minute, when they're doing the ultrasound, the doctor's like, I still hear a heartbeat." And she's like, "What do you mean you hear a heartbeat? I just had a termination last week." And the doctor's like, "Well, I hear a heartbeat going on. So you were pregnant with twins." And she was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah." She said, "So I'm still pregnant?" And the doctor's like, "Yeah, you are." And she's like, "Oh my gosh." She starts to feel sick and she's scared. She goes home. She's thinking about this like, "Wait a minute, I'm trying to get rid of this, but it's not going away. Maybe that's saying something." And she contacts the guy and she tells him, and he's like, "Oh, that's great. Let's have a baby. Come on, please, let's get together." And then she finds out from another woman who contacts her, "Hey, I'm his wife." It turns out that he was married the whole time, but him and his wife can't have no baby. So him and his wife told him to go find somebody else to have a baby so that they can take it. They was looking for a surrogate, but they didn't want to pay all the money. And they told her that to please have a baby because they want to take the baby and raise him as their own. And the wife contacted her and said, "Look, we'll give you $15,000. Just have the baby and you can stay in the baby life. But I want the baby to call me mama and not you mama. You can be the auntie because this will be our baby." And they start harassing her and contacting her. And she's like, "Hold up, I ain't never agreed to be nobody's surrogate. I didn't even want to have no baby." In the midst of this, she going back to the doctor and she feeling sick again, and she going back to check on the baby, and the doctor's like, "Wait a minute, there's an issue here. I'm hearing 2 heartbeats." It turns out that she was having triplets around this thing, and she aborted one of them, and now she got twins in there, and the couple still harassing her, calling her, saying, "Give us our babies, give us our babies." And she just like, I don't even know what to do.